Tala with Drive-thru Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me today on another episode. And as always, I'm grateful for your patience with me, really, because there is no method to this madness of putting out my episodes. I get inspired, I do them, life comes up, I go and make priority where I need to make it, and then I go back to my beautiful podcast whenever I can, and certainly when inspiration hits. So this is one of those days. I had an interesting couple of sessions today, and they included two women, different age groups, that had the same message growing up that many women can relate to. Many women can relate to. I know I can. And that message is the independent woman message. Every mother I know of at one point may have given her daughter the "I don't need a man, you need to be very independent." And it's great advice. Theoretically speaking, it's a great piece of advice. But what I found in common today with those two women, when we looked at the message in the past, is that they both had continuously engaged in relationships that they were not getting their needs met. It actually was pretty interesting. Two women that were raised to be independent, right? Turned out to not be so independent. They were codependent on the person that they were with. So what happened? What message did we really get growing up about we don't need a man and we need to be independent? Is that an extreme message? Or is it a realistic message? Tonight we're going to talk about that. And in no way am I making, I'm not trying to bring women back hundreds of years, okay? I'm not trying to do that with today's episode. I'm just trying to have you think about some stuff. Because those two women today, it was a clear, loud as day pattern, and I connected with it, definitely. Because I was raised the same way. I was raised with the idea that women need to be independent in case a man ever decides to leave, that we will always be independent. However, sometimes we find that we have gone to extreme with that idea, to the point where this is the case with specifically those two patients, is that they're having difficulty being in relationships where they can ask something else of the man. Okay, just hear me out on this one. They have been raised to take care of themselves and to be independent. So when they get into relationships, they don't ask much of that kind of guy. All they ask for is love. I know, I've been there. But this is the funny thing. All they get is love, I guess, which means just talk. They get men that just talk. They don't do much. They don't invest their equal part in the relationship. Women have become so independent that they're not asking for equal part in the relationship. They want to take over. That's where I see this independent woman has probably mutated to. I'm talking about extreme cases. If this relates to you or resonates with you, it's for you. If it doesn't resonate with you, move on. I'm not meaning to talk about you. I'm talking about extreme response in relationships by women. It's become to the point where women are not meeting their needs in the relationship and they're doing more than their fair share. They're only asking for love. I asked them the same thing. I said, what do you want in this relationship? And all they said was, I just wanted love. But this is the thing. This guy, both guys in those each relationship, were not investing much because nothing much was asked of them. And love, I guess, was measured by, because I asked them what that was, and measured by love means I love you. I just want you to show me affection. Well, I can show you affection, but how long will that last? What kind of foundation will that build? Will that buy us a house? Will that invest in feeding our children? Will your love keep me safe and secure in a relationship? Will it, I don't know, build a shed in the back? What will your love do? We're not asking for much anymore. We're just asking for love. Damn. That's too much, I think. We've gone too far. It makes me sad because I grew up with the same idea, and our mothers don't mean harm. They mean well. They really do. But I think we went to this independent thing as a form of masculinization. It wasn't to promote feminine power. Rather, it's to masculinize females to the point of we take over and we do everything, and we wonder why we're not asking for much or why our needs are not being met. Because in fact, we're not expecting much. We're doing it all because we're Miss Independent. I don't know. It helped me think today of where I came from too. I had the same idea in mind. I was always told to be independent. I don't need a man. You need to go finish your schooling. But when it came down to understanding equality in a relationship, I didn't know how to do it. And many women feel this way. They feel inconvenient in a relationship. They feel that they're inconvenient if they ask for something. If they ask for equality or ask for their person's investment back, for them to invest in the relationship. Women are kind of being raised with this idea that they're an inconvenience and they must pay their way for love. We must pay for love. So we're not going to be an inconvenience to any person. We're just going to go ahead and be so independent that we just take over. We'll just take over. Yeah, something to reflect on, because I got to tell you, I'm a little shocked at what I heard today. I mean, shocked. We glorify the idea of female independence. I get it, but I don't want to be masculinized. I love the fact that I'm a female. I love the fact that there's a culture that goes along with my femininity. I love that. I love that. I don't want to deny that. And there's so much power in being a female, and you recognize it quite a bit when you're surrounded by males. So when I was in the military, it was such a powerful thing to be a female in the military. And it made me proud. I didn't want to be a male in the military. I wanted to be a female. Interestingly enough, the government, FBI, all those 3-letter places are looking for females because they're finding out that we think differently than males. I don't want to be masculine independent. I want to be a feminine independent. And I want to be able to be proud of my female culture, to understand that there's a balance. There's a beautiful balance that I need to seek fairness and equality in a relationship, not just independence. It needs to balance out, my friends. Again, we go to extremes. We're going to extremes at this point. When is that message too much? And do we need to balance it with the idea that we need to be proud as females, and that our independence as females asks for equality in a relationship? I'm proud of that. I'm proud that women are showing up and suiting up. We're taking over parenting, sometimes being the sole parent, many times being the sole parents of our children. But that can't be it. We need to bring balance back to that statement. I love that we are seeking independence, sure. But what I don't like is that we are equating independence with being masculinized, being a sole provider, being the person that makes all the decisions. No. I think independence needs to be about self-love, emotional autonomy, right? I get that part. But sharing a life with someone requires the give and take, requires that we let this other person, whoever we're in a relationship with as a woman, we let this other person invest in the relationship just like we do, because they need it too. We don't want to leave them out of this investment. We don't want to take over for them. I need to tell you, psychologically, they need to invest in the relationship just as much as you do. So let's give these people gratification. Let's let them invest equally like we do. Ask for what you want in a relationship. If you ask me, that's true independence, being to ask for what I want in a relationship. And when I don't get it, then I'm like, okay, all right, now I need to have a consequence when my needs are not getting met. Not let me go ahead and be so independent that I'm putting down the other sex. I'm not asking much of them. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Let's bring back equality in this case, you guys. Equality. Not inequality, because that's not what it's about. Female independence is not about inequality. It should be about equality. We need to meet our needs, absolutely. But it doesn't mean that we take over the roles of other genders, right? That's not what it means. Yeah. We need to be able to be equal. I don't need to spit out how independent I am. If I have to do that, I'm insecure. I don't need to spit it out. And if I had a daughter, I would probably not say we need to be an independent woman. It goes without saying, friends. I'm walking the walk. She's going to walk it too. But I need to show her that it's equality in a relationship, that she's allowed to ask for more and that she does not need to pay for love. She's not an inconvenience. And that she needs to have enough self-love to be emotionally vulnerable and safe in a relationship, and to ask for the other person and allow them to invest in the relationship just as much as she does. Yeah, we need to change some stuff up. Some stuff needs to be reflected on. Again, I love the idea of an independent woman. I was raised on it, friends. I was raised on it, yeah. But I could see where, even in that, my mind went to extreme. So it's a great idea, as many great ideas are, unless they go to extremes, at which point the way we think we got to be so independent, we may sometimes escalate it to the point of masculinity. And we don't need to be a masculine independent. We need to be a feminine independent. It's different. Let's redefine that for ourselves. Let's make a pact that this generation of females asks for equality in a relationship, that doesn't just only ask for love, but asks for more than just love. Love won't feed my children. Love won't put a roof over my head. But equality will. It's a great foundation to build upon. There's growth there. Two people growing together, rather than one person growing on their own and the other person not. More burden on one partner than the other. We don't need none of that, people. None of that. I hope this makes sense to you guys. And I hope that you get what I'm trying to say. In no way am I trying to offend any woman. I am a woman. And I am a single parent. And I can understand that. But I can also see the perspective of those two women there. I can relate to them. At one point, I was that woman that was so independent. I never asked for more. I never asked for more in a relationship, because somewhere in my head I thought I would have been an inconvenience to ask for equality in a relationship. So I hid behind the idea of independence. Not good. Not good. You can see why, right? Thank you guys for listening to me today. I hope this makes sense and it's not just a ramble. I am taking a risk putting this out there, but I know that, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have an open mind about this. Just think about it. It's just a thought. It won't harm anyone. Thank you guys so much. I'm sending you so much love and so much feminine strength and love. This has been an episode of Drive-thru.